Welcome back to the channel, guys. It's Bow93 Gaming here with another gaming review, and this time it's on A Plague's Tale Requiem, developed by Asobo and published by Focus Entertainment. I've been blessed with a PS5 review code from Focus Entertainment and Sandbox Strategies, so big shout out to them. But also a small reminder to have you guys like, comment and subscribe to the channel, as well as it lets me know what you want me to review next, because stuff like this is only made possible thanks to you all. So big love. Alright, let's get into it. Just to also let you guys know, there may be some very light plot spoilers in the very early chapters of the game via some of the videos, and I'll absolutely not be talking about the ending, but rather my overall experience. So this is a year into the game coming out, so this is going to be my 1 year in review. So a bit of backstory, especially if you haven't played the first game, A Plague's Tale Innocence in 2019. But this is a third-person action-adventure game that released on October the 18th, 2022. The series focuses on a plague, the Black Death to be specific, which wreaked havoc in Europe in the 14th century, killing as many as 200 million people in its wake. And what brought that plague? Simple: rats. Thus, the series is basically about rats, massive swarms of them. You play as Amicia, older sister to a young boy named Hugo, who is afflicted with what is known as macula that lays inside of him. This allows him to have a paranormal bond with the rats, one he unfortunately is unable to control and one that you are ultimately trying to find a cure for, otherwise it will end up killing him. However, along the way there are many people looking to exploit that power and use Hugo for their own means, so it's also up to you to play the role of a protector for your younger brother. I have to admit that the series is extremely dark. A Plague's Tale Innocence was depressing and gruesome, but it seems Requiem has turned up several notches to the point I was grimacing to certain things on screen. I mean, it makes sense, the Black Death wasn't exactly a happy period in time, but it's safe to say that this follow-up is one of my favourite action-adventure games of last year and a worthy successor to the first. Let's now talk graphics and performance. This is a damn pretty game and probably the prettiest I've seen in a long time. Whether it be the time of day, the weather, the damage that has happened to that location from the rat hordes, they just all add to the visual variety of the game. I'm hoping these review videos do it some justice, but there were honestly some moments I just stood in awe looking around an environment because of how good it looked. Moving on to the combat and gameplay, this is a game largely based on stealth. The first game was one where Amicia and Hugo spent a lot of time hiding and running away from anyone and anything trying to kill them, and you were not really given a great amount of tools for survival or direct combat. However, in Requiem, you have a lot more tools at your disposal for killing. It's not like an action adventure game like The Last of Us where you can go in guns blazing, because you still have to remember that Amicia is a teenager going up against adults, but it allows for each encounter to play out differently compared to 2019's Innocence. Whether you want to throw a rock or pot to create a distraction, or kill an unhelmeted enemy with your sling, or order a side character to do the killing for you, or have the rats finish off an enemy by using your alchemy to put out a guard's torch, or simply slink away into the shadows, you can do that. This creates a different style of play each encounter, which the game encourages and rewards, allowing for Amicia to evolve her character towards the end game. This comes in the form of 3 skill trees: Prudence, Aggressive and Opportunism. The prudent skills are focused mostly on stealth, while the aggressive skill tree is focused on combat and use of weapons, whereas the opportunism skills are about the other tools in Amicia's arsenal and resources. Each of these trees have 4 skills within them for a total of 12, and it's totally up to you which you prefer to build out. However, I'll be lying if I said I felt like they made a difference and informed the way I approach each combat encounter, especially towards the later stages of the game, but this is largely a narrative experience, as we all know, so I didn't really expect things like robust skill trees or weapon upgrades. Controlling characters also felt very fluid as it did in Innocence, and you still have the option to upgrade gear via alchemy carts, which is helpful but not overall useful. I won't go into a great deal regarding the story, but it took me about 20+ hours to 100% complete A Plague's Tale Requiem and get the Platinum Trophy. There are a total of 16 chapters, and I will say that the game opens up so much more during the second half of the story, with many more action-packed sequences and tugs on heartstrings. The character development is absolutely phenomenal, as is the voice acting. Although I have to admit I found Amicia a bit annoying at times, and the use of the DualSense haptic feedback and adaptive triggers are some of the best I've seen since Innocence's next gen upgrade. The sheer amount of design gone into every vibration and adaptive trigger use on the controller is ridiculously immense and makes everything feel so much more real. We need to see more games taking advantage of the DualSense like this for sure. Overall, this is a very worthy successor to the first game in the series, and in my opinion is definitely worth your time and investment. Puzzle designs in each level has been taken to higher heights than the previous game, graphics are incredible also, and some of the best I've seen on the PS5. Combat options are more diverse than they have ever been, and the story is emotional and powerful thanks to some incredible voice acting. This is a story-driven single-player experience you'll never forget. As always guys, if you like the review, please give it a thumbs up. If not, give it a thumbs down and let me know your thoughts in the comments.